Hey everybody. Number 75 in the Criterion collection is one I'm a little surprised is in here. Chasing Amy, directed by Kevin Smith from the United States from 1997. So the Kevin Smith View Askewneverse is kind of a millennial touchstone, right? It came out in the mid 90s, lasted till like the early 2000s, and then he tried to close the book on it, and then he ended up coming back to it, and there have been several more. If you're not familiar, this is the Chasing Amy is the third movie in the universe after Clerks and Mallrats, and then it went into Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which was supposed to be the end. Then we got Clerks 2 and 3, Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and we've got a Twilight of the Mallrats, possibly. Kevin Smith's been working on for a while. The first movie that he made, Clerks, is a black and white film. He shot it independently with his buddies. He maxed out as he got as many credit cards as he could from mail offers, maxed them all out to make the movie. Made on a shoestring budget and earned $3 million in the box office, which, considering its initial budget, was pretty impressive. And then Mallrats was his first one, making it with a little bit of studio involvement. Chasing Amy is still somewhere between him being an independent filmmaker and big studio involvement. In fact, Miramax Film offered him a $2 million budget for this film only if he would cast David Schwimmer, Drew Barrymore, and Jon Stewart as the lead characters in this film. Kevin Smith turned that down and instead took a $250,000 budget so that he could pick the cast that he wanted. And the cast is Jason Lee and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Joey Lauren Adams, who I have always had a crush on. I love Joey Lawrence Adams. Joey Lawrence? Joey Lauren? Joey Lauren Adams. I love the woman and I can't get her name right. Story of my life. So, what is Chasing Amy actually about? It's more of a character driven story. It's kind of an anti rom com. It has two phases. The first is Ben Affleck falls in love with. Ben Affleck and Jason Lee are comic book writers, although that barely features into the plot. They make a comic book together. And he falls in love with a female comic book creator, played by Joey Lauren Adams, who it turns out is a lesbian. And so there's this whole unrequited love thing because he's in love and he loves spending time with her and she's a lesbian. And then they start dating, actually, after a big blow up scene where he confesses his feelings and blah, blah, blah. Now, I am not gay. And I have some gay friends, but I'm not really in gay culture. I cannot speak as to how accurately this movie deals with gay issues. Especially the idea of I'm a lesbian except for that one guy. Now, I will say I have seen that in other places where some lifelong lesbians find their one person, and that one person happens to be a guy. I've seen it online a couple of times. I don't know how accurate this is. I don't know how widespread it is, and I can't speak to it. I will say that Kevin Smith did reach out to a lesbian filmmaker to review the parts of the script that dealt with lesbianism because he was in the same boat. Like, he was not part of the culture and he wanted to make sure he dealt with it well. I think the film deals with that aspect okay. But if you are in the gay community and you violently disagree with me, you're probably right. Because I don't know what I'm talking about. Kevin Smith didn't know what he was talking about, but I do respect the fact that he got like outside sources to try and help him with that. That's kind of the first phase of the movie. The second phase of the movie is then later the discovery that he is not the first guy she's been with and that she's actually had quite an adventurous sex life. And suddenly he has trouble dealing with the fact that she's done a lot of different things sexually and he has not. And he struggles with her history and the fact that he doesn't have one, and that's a whole second phase. The characters are well written and the emotional scenes are great. Joey Lauren Adams does a phenomenal job in this. Ben Affleck does an okay job. I mean, he does a good job. The characters are young and they make stupid mistakes. And I can remember having a similar mindset at that age. But it can be a little frustrating to watch and go, why are you doing this? Why can't you just, what's going, but that's the movie. And that's kind of the point of the movie. It also features uh, the two characters that kind of tie View Askewneverse together, Jay and Silent Bob, who became a phenomenon in the 90s. I mean, they showed up in Scream 3. I've seen them show up in like the Cerberus comic books. Like they show up in so much stuff from the 90s. They were just everywhere. And of course, Kevin Smith playing Silent Bob gives himself the best dialogue, which is always fun. He doesn't always have a lot of dialogue, although he talks a lot in this movie. Jay and Silent Bob are in one scene, and Bob talks a lot in that scene. It's good, though. He does an excellent job playing that character. As from a directing standpoint, I still feel like the writing is solid. Again, I can't speak to the representation of the gay community, but like dialogue and characterizations here are solid. I think they're very good. The directing, I feel like Kevin Smith is still finding his legs, or he's being hampered by the shoestring budget he stuck himself with to have the cast that he wanted. Just the camera's not doing a lot. It's a lot of. This is probably his artsiest, most serious film. Certainly in the View Askewneverse. I know he made other movies outside of the universe, but I, like most people, haven't seen them. The language is pretty crude, and when I watched this in my late teens, the language was awesome. It was cool to see people throwing around that language on screen. Rock on. Now that I'm older, it's a bit unnecessary. It doesn't offend me. It's fine, but it feels like it might be trying a little hard. That's Chasing Amy. I don't want to spoil too much of this, what little plot there is. It is worth seeing, and you can watch it without watching Clerks and Mallrats. It is a shared universe, so the Joey Lauren Adams character in this does reference specific moments from the first two movies. But like Jason Lee is in this movie playing a different character than he did in the movie before. Joey Lauren Adams is in this movie playing a different character than she did in Mallrats. So you can just watch this movie if you want to check it out. I would love to hear the modern sensibility from the gay community and how they feel that this movie does or doesn't represent them, especially lesbians. But there are some gay characters in here too that are very interesting. There is a small recurring character. He's a black comic book author who pretends to be a militaristic, Black Panther, keep an eye on the White Devil, when actually he's just an easygoing gay black man, but he can't let his audience know he's gay, and he can't let his audience know that he's actually fine with white people. That character is actually a lot of fun. But I would like to hear from the lesbian community in particular about how they feel like they are represented here. There's a mosquito flying in front of my face, but if I try to clap it, the mic will kill all of you. Anyway, that's it for Chasing Amy. Just a quick discussion I wanted to talk about. It's probably his most personal creation, and if you look online, you can see it came from a lot of real stuff in his life and the lives of people around him. And then as a meta text, that's also in the movie where Ben Affleck is writing a comic about a personal story by the end. It's well written. The directing is okay. I think the directing could have been better, but I don't know if that's the directing or the budget, because he was working with very little. But yes, I do. Should you see Chasing Amy? I think so. I think you should check it out. And if you're a lesbian, tell me what you think about representation. I am deeply curious. Our next movie, we're going way back. We're going to see Brief Encounter, directed by David Lean from the United Kingdom from 1945. Um, the only exposure I have to this movie is it is mentioned in one episode of Goodnight Sweetheart. So now I am prepared to learn a lot. I'll see you guys next time. As always, thank you for being a part of this weird journey.